Hello there, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I am a travel advisor with Kingdom Destinations Travel. This week, we are diving into the question: is a cruise right for you? I thought that this would be an appropriate topic for this week since I just got off Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. In fact, I am recording this podcast from my fabulous ocean balcony stateroom. So, have you ever said, I don't think I'm a cruise person? Or maybe you know someone. All four of my children, or three of my children, are like, absolutely not. I'm not getting on a cruise. This episode is for you. So, Cameron, Lauren, Stephen, listen up. Most people who think they won't like cruising are basing it on outdated assumptions or bad information. So today we're breaking it all down. Common cruise misconceptions, what cruising is actually like today, who cruising is perfect for, who it might not be for, and why choosing the right cruise line matters. So cruising isn't one size fits all, but when you get the right fit, it can be one of the best vacations you'll ever take. So let's get started. Let's talk about some common cruise misconceptions. These are some of the things that I've heard. I don't want to be stuck on a crowded ship. Modern ships are designed for crowds with multiple venues. So, for instance, I am on one of the larger ships for Royal Caribbean, and it is designed to hold, it has 2,867 staterooms and can accommodate 5,734 passengers based on double occupancy for all of those rooms. So it's over 1,188 feet. That is an incredible ship, and it is 16 stories high. So when you think about it, like I used to work at a relatively large hospital for our small area. And this cruise ship is literally the size of our hospital. So there is plenty of room on board this ship for everyone. The next thing I hear is, I think I'd be bored, stuck on a ship. There's nothing to do. Let me tell you, today I had to narrow down my choices. We were actually in port, and I had a reservation for Royal Beach Club, which is Royal Caribbean's private beach club here at Nassau. Could have gone there where they had swim up bars, beach, access, entertainment. Instead, I stayed on the ship in the solarium, which is the adults only area with pools and hot tubs. I could have gone down to play bingo. There was karaoke. There was a Latin dancing class that I could have gone to. One of my friends on the ship went to a cupcake decorating class, and I'm not going to lie, I did sneak in and have a fabulous massage. And so there is so much to do. If you get bored, it is definitely by choice. The other thing that I do here is I'll get seasick, and this is a valid concern. However, today's ships are incredibly stable, and there are so many options to manage seasickness, from motion sickness bands to scopolamine patches that your doctor will happily give you if you let them know that you're going on a cruise. And even if you get on board and find out that you're getting motion sickness, you can run down to first aid and they can grab it for you. So seasickness, and on as large of a ship as this is, you feel the movement, but not like you would think. We're not like, this isn't North Sea TikTok, if you've ever watched that. We're just gliding along. Right now, we are cruising at sea. I don't even feel the ship moving. So the other big thing that I hear of, Cameron Scott Baker Ingle, it reminds me of Titanic. This is my son. He's like, absolutely not. I'm not getting on a ship in the middle of the ocean when it could sink. And I try to tell him a ship this size isn't going to sink. Um, Cruising today is one of the safest forms of travel. This is not like back in Titanic. There are plenty of lifeboats for everyone should it come to that. I promise. However, I understand that concern. If you've never cruised before, you're not familiar with it. Definitely, I would not encourage like a transatlantic or a trans-Pacific cruise for your first cruise. Instead, I would highly recommend a cruise that I am on right now. It's a 4 night, left out of Miami. We went to their private island, which is in the Bahamas. Then we stopped at Nassau. And then tomorrow we're quote unquote spending a day at sea and then headed back to Miami, which is where we came out of. So if you've ever looked on a map, honestly, Nassau to Miami is not that far of a distance with plenty of land in between. So you're really not out on, I want to use this word carefully, the open ocean. Like I said, it's not like you're setting sail from Boston to Southampton, England. There are plenty of other cruise ships. I can look out on my balcony right now and see another cruise ship, within sight. This is a very popular itinerary for all of the cruise lines. So, sinking, being stranded at sea for, I don't know, eons and eons really is not a concern. Now, I will recommend 100% if you decide to take a cruise and you are concerned about issues such as the Titanic, to watch your alcohol intake, watch your children, don't climb up on rails, don't lean over railings, and generally that is enough to keep you safe. These ships are huge. Railings are high. Honestly, unless you're doing something that you probably shouldn't be doing, you're not going overboard. I know that these stories are more prolific these days. I promise you there's a story behind the story every single time. So what is cruising actually like? Honestly, cruise ships are floating resorts, and they can literally be just like an all-inclusive resort. Different cruise lines offer different features. I am going to highlight here in this segment Disney Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean. So Disney Cruise Line, I absolutely hands down love. If you are looking, even if you are sailing child free, my children have never been on a Disney cruise. My husband and I do Disney cruises. We're looking for luxury. We're looking for um, white glove service. We are looking for quality entertainment, and we are looking for 5-star food. And I can tell you, Disney Cruise Line delivers across all of those fronts. They come by, they clean your cabin every day, then they come back by, they do turn down service. Food is incredible. I lay in bed at night dreaming of the steak from 1923. They have fabulous Broadway-style shows that are different on every ship. Literally, I will book the ship just to see that Broadway-style show. Character meet and greets. If you are a Disney Parks fan, this is a must-do cruise line for you. They have themed dining, which is incredible. I mentioned 1923. That's their steakhouse, which, I mean, it has a theme, but more importantly, across the ships, the Wish has Frozen, which they do a whole Frozen sing-along presentation throughout your dinner. But my favorite is aboard the Disney Treasure, and it is Coco. Let me tell you, I'm not a fan of the Coco movie. Like, it doesn't hit me. But this, like, Theater in the Round dinner show is incredible. And like I said, the service is amazing. My poor husband, every time we go, I threaten to leave him for our stateroom attendant because they are just so attentive to your every need, and they are so, so friendly. I can't say enough about the service on board Disney Cruise Line. Royal Caribbean, especially with their newer Icon class, um, and really even down into their Oasis class and their retrofitted, I believe it's the Freedom class that just got retrofitted. Um, they have water slides. I watched people on the Flow Rider Surf Simulator last September when my husband and I were on Utopia of the Seas. My 50-year-old husband did the Flow Rider Surf Simulator, and promise me I did not sit at the side and drink my drink and laugh at him. I didn't. I didn't do it. They have a rock wall. They have an ice skating show. I am, like I said, I'm sitting in my stateroom aboard Wonder of the Seas recording this, and we just got back from their aqua theater show with high dives. It was incredible. If you're listening to this, you'll want to keep an eye on my socials because I'm sure I will have some clips of that out later. But across most cruise lines, you're going to find things like fitness classes, pickleball and sports courts, adults only pools, nightly shows and entertainment, trivia and game shows, educational seminars on art, tequila, jewelry, all of that. And you wake up to new destinations every day without unpacking. It is amazing. So, who is good for cruising? Who should consider cruising? Families for sure. I talked about Disney Cruise Line. The kids clubs there are second to none. Couples, especially, there are even, depending on your age group, if you're looking for a more chill vibe, you might be more interested in Celebrity Cruise Line or Princess Cruise Line. If you're looking for something a little bit more modern and edgy that is adults only, you might be interested in Virgin Cruise Line. Groups, I in fact have a group for Alaska 2027. I do still have a few staterooms available on that if you're interested. The great thing about this group is I was able to secure 16 rooms the day that the cruise line dropped that itinerary, and so I got it at the best pricing available. So if you're interested in Alaska 2027, be sure to reach out to me. But who might not love cruising? Who is this not good for? If you have legal or travel restrictions, cruising is probably not good for you. And when I talk about legal or travel restrictions, I'm talking about if you have committed a felony, in some cases even a misdemeanor in the past, you might not be able to cruise. So it's always good to disclose that to your travel advisor prior to booking so that they can check. The problem isn't with the cruise line, the problem is with the ports in the country that they're visiting. You have to be cleared for each one of those ports. And so some of those ports will have restrictions. Travelers who want deep destination immersion. So if you are looking for deep cultural, immersive experiences, cruising isn't for you because you're in a new port pretty much every day, okay? And the other people who might not like cruising is people who book the wrong vibe cruise. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're young and in your 20s and you like nightclubs, you like to mingle with other people, you like, I don't want to say party, but you like a more lively vibe, right? You like music, you like dancing. I probably would not put you on a Silver Sea cruise, for example. Likewise, maybe you're a little bit older, you're traveling without children, you do not want to see children, you do not want to hear children, you do not want to know that children exist. I for sure wouldn't put you on a Disney cruise. So it is very important to match not only the cruise line, but also the right itinerary. So why does the right cruise line matters? Like I just said, the right cruise gives a totally different experience. And it's the difference between overwhelmed versus relaxed, bored versus excited. If none of the activities offered on board interest you, then you really will be bored. So we want to find a cruise line that is going to offer the activities that you are interested in. So I want to wrap this up because I'm going a little bit long here. But I just want you to know that cruising isn't one size fits all. But when you're matched with the right ship and itinerary, it can be one of the best vacations you'll ever take. Reach out to me if you are interested in more information on cruising or if you've been thinking about a cruise and you just want to make sure that you're matched up with the right ship and itinerary. I am your girl. And so until next week, goodbye and dream about cruises.